How we doing today, guys? It's Jesse with the Common Man Corpus Christi, bringing you news and politics through a common sense lens. And Disney has been in the news quite a lot lately between their stance against the parental rights and education bill, the Florida bill that recently passed, that Governor DeSantis signed, that basically stops teachers from instructing anywhere from a pre-K all the way up to a third grader in anything sexual whatsoever. A lot of the media has tried to bash this, calling it the Don't Say Gay bill, which has absolutely nothing to do with the bill itself. It's just stopping teachers from teaching sexuality to anybody below third grade and below. Like, why would anybody have an issue with that? But apparently Disney and all their woke cultists and their woke employees did have an issue with it, and they ended up jumping in on the bandwagon to bash the living hell out of Governor DeSantis, the Florida bill, and everything else. So we're going to get into this article from The Blaze, from the shareholders apparently aren't too happy about this. So, by all means, if you have not already, please hit that subscribe button and share this around with your friends, because we know how the YouTube censors are. That's the only way you're ever going to see any of this. It's the only way any of this is ever going to get out to anybody else. So, let's get into it. Get back to business. Disney shareholder blasts company for wasting shareholders' money on political crusades. A fair point. There's Disney. See, I so want to go to Disney World so bad, so I really hope we get this stuff fixed at some point. A Disney shareholder is speaking out after Walt Disney Company caved to woke demands and vocally opposed Florida's parental rights and education law. What are the details? Speaking with Fox News, shareholder Rob Keating said Disney should return to creating excellent stories and stay far away from politics. Here's a suggestion for Disney CEO Bob Chapek. Get back to business, that is. Excellent in storytelling, and stop wasting shareholders' money on political crusades that have nothing to do with Disney's business. Keating said, "We all have the right to we all have the right to have our voices heard on issues, but not on the shareholders' dime." Hear, hear. Common sense from the business world. In a corresponding essay, Keating observed that Disney's managed to get itself into a political mess largely of its own making over an issue that has nothing to do with its business. All of this gets back to a fundamental point. Company executives who use company resources, that is, shareholder resources, to engage in politics, including so-called corporate social responsibility adventures, are in effect guilty of stealing from the company's owners, Keating wrote. Ooh, that's harsh, but I think very, very accurate. Keating's comments came after Kristen Hawkins, a mother and president of Students for Life of America, wrote a viral goodbye post to Disney condemning the company for having transformed into a political propaganda machine that grooms children for abortions and sexual promiscuity, she said in her video. Holy crap. I mean, she's not wrong. She's not wrong. What is the background? Disney has become a lightning rod for culture wars last month after CEO Bob Chapek spoke out against the parental rights and education bill. The company has repeatedly referred to the law by its fake moniker, the Don't Say Gay bill. And he did not move an inch on this. He said he was going to stay out of this. They did not want themselves in the middle of it. And then their psycho employees went nuts over it. And then all of a sudden, Disney had to do a 180. And even though the walkouts were a joke, this was strictly bad press from Twitter, and that was it. There was like one person who showed up to the walkout in Florida, and the ones out in California, doesn't matter anyway. Even if there was 20 or 30 of them, they looked like they were walking out on their lunch break. Like, there was no actual major internal push. It was strictly a Twitterverse push, which was enhanced by loud people inside of the company. Importantly, the law does not prohibit the use of the word of gay. Instead, the law prohibits classroom instructions on sexual orientation and gender identity for grades K through 3. After Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed the bill into law, Disney released a statement vowing to fight against the law. Florida's HB 1557, also known as the Don't Say Gay bill, should never have passed and should never have been signed into law. Our goal as a company is for this law to be repealed by the legislatures or struck down in the courts, and we remain committed to supporting the national and state organizations working to achieve that. We are dedicated to standing up for the rights and safety of LGBTQ+ members of the Disney family, as well as LGBTQ+ community in Florida and across the country. Didn't they forget the 2? Isn't there supposed to be a 2 on that now? Last week, leaked videos from a meeting of Disney employees shared executives and producers boasting about implementing a gay agenda in Disney content whose primary audience is children. And I think the shareholder's right. I'm glad to see that there's backlash. I'm glad that people are willing to speak up, especially people that actually have a stake in this company, because I think that's something that absolutely needs to be done. These people have gone completely insane. Nobody wants this out of Disney. They're going to end up losing massive revenue. They're trying to protect themselves with these ESG scores, and they're trying to keep their name on the right side of history, as so many of these woke psychos think. I think it's one of those things, they're just trying to make sure Disney doesn't collapse, and they think all this ESG stuff is really going to come to pass, and that if they don't comply with this, they're going to completely lose everything. And they're basically held over the barrel of a gun at this point. And as we as people, as we as citizens, as we as paying customers, remind them that if they go through with this kind of stuff, they will have no revenue left, let alone what the ESG BS in the future will do to them, then maybe it makes a difference. And hopefully this guy speaking out as one of the shareholders will encourage other shareholders to speak out, so that way things can actually change. And hopefully that's the way it goes. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. It makes me sad to see Disney fall down this rabbit hole, because it was such a huge part of so many of our childhoods, and something that we were going to hope to keep going with our children in the future. But at this point, with the way Disney stands, there is no way in hell I'm going to let my kids watch anything that comes out of Disney in the future, and probably having to go back at least 10 or 15 years to the actual classics and everything that was produced basically prior to 2000. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, guys. I hope this makes a difference. I don't know if Disney's too far gone down the rabbit hole at this point or not, but we'll see what happens. That's just my common sense take, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you have not already, hit that like button, share this with all your friends, and subscribe if you are not already. This is Jesse with the Common Man Corpus Christi, bringing you news and politics through a common sense lens. Thanks for watching.